Jadeveon Clowney has finally made his decision to come back to the NFL and his decision on what his new team for 2020 is going to be. Jadeveon Clowney has signed with the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are a team that I broke down in my AFC South preview. I said their number one problem, their number one need is edge rusher. They need a guy that can get after the quarterback. They need a guy on the edge of their defense that can disrupt, make plays, stuff the run, and just bully offensive linemen. And that is exactly what you are getting in Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney is a physically imposing monster of a man. Jadeveon Clowney is, shall I say, a freak on the football field. I mean, this guy, you can move him from the edge to the inside linebacker. You can rush him from there. You can place him on the defensive line at the end of the line to get after the edge of the quarterback. You can probably put him at D tackle. He's that strong. Jadeveon Clowney is one of those players that is just uniquely gifted as an athlete. He's so strong, but yet has great explosive ability. Now, why has Jadeveon Clowney taken so long to sign, guys? Well, it's been reported that it's because of Jadeveon Clowney. He didn't want to sign yet. He's just like, I don't want to sign. I don't want to go to camp. I'm going to be honest. Like, there was reports literally saying, I don't want to go to training camp. Like, I don't want to go through those practices. So I'm going to hold out. Just know I'm still on the market. I'm interested in playing, but pay me in August, pay me in September, okay? I don't want to go to your training camp. And maybe that's part of the issue, why it was so limited of a market for him. Maybe that's part of the problem, because I think a lot of people look at him and say, ooh, you know, he's not willing to go to training camp. Is he passionate enough to be on our team, in our system, in our organization? Like, do we want a guy that is kind of a hired mercenary? That's kind of the way I look at Jadeveon Clowney. At this point, the guy's a hired gun. He's going out there to sack quarterbacks and to disrupt. He pay the man and he'll do his job. But I don't think Jadeveon Clowney, and maybe I'm speaking out of terms here, but this is the way I see it from the reports that I've been given. I think he's a guy that he does this as a job, okay? This is his job. Playing football, he's really good at it, and he wants to make money doing it. A lot of money. And he doesn't necessarily care what team it's for. He doesn't necessarily care if they're good, they're bad. He doesn't necessarily care that much for the other stuff. He doesn't necessarily go out there for the passion of the game. Okay, this guy's not Brett Favre. He's going out there to sack quarterbacks and make money. That's what he's doing. And the thing for the Titans is, I think it's fantastic for them that they now have a guy that's familiar with their defense, right? Jadeveon Clowney used to play with Mike Vrabel as his coach. Mike Vrabel was his defensive coordinator in Houston, I believe, and also, I know for sure, his linebacker coach. So Clowney is familiar with Mike Vrabel. And Mike Vrabel will now be taking on more of a role as a defensive coach for this team, being that Dean Pease is gone. So Dean Pease is gone, but Vrabel's still there. And now that it's going to be more of Vrabel's defense, more of Vrabel's approach, I think that's going to suit more Clowney now, because he knows, okay, Clowney's good at this. You know, I know Jadeveon can do this very well, but he's not so good at this. So right away, without ever seeing him practice, that's the advantage the Titans had over every other team to sign him, because Clowney knew that if I go to Tennessee, I'm going to be used correctly. If I sign with New Orleans, I don't know if I'm going to be used correctly, right? So I think that was the difference for him between Tennessee and New Orleans, was just like, okay, I know this guy. Like, I know the way that he runs things, and I know the way that he schemes things, and I agree with that, and I'm going to be able to get the best out of myself so that maybe next year I can sign that 3-year, $60 million contract or whatever. So part of the other issue, I think, with Clowney has been his injury history. He has had a long injury history dating back to his college days. And I think that's also a reason he hasn't been signed earlier, as well as the fact that he just didn't want to be. I think that's a big reason he hasn't gotten huge money. He's more one-year contract kind of guy. But just for granted, he's an impact player. I still think he's a top, at the very least, impact on the game than just strictly sacks. This is a guy that is a better run defender than pass rusher. So he fits Tennessee from that regard because Mike Vrabel, he's a Patriot, right? He's a Belichick guy, right? He's a set the edge first, get after the quarterback second. He's do your job first, sack the quarterback second. So in that regard as well, he's going to be able to fit into the scheme and what they want to do. So I really like this because I think he's going to be utilized correctly. I know that for a fact. I think this upgrades the team significantly in a position that was their weakness on their roster. And now you could take some pressure off a younger guy like Harold Landry on the opposite side. I'm not sure if Vic Beasley is still going to be on the team because he's had a weird, shaky offseason training camp. I don't even know what's going on with him. Correa is still there, and guys like that. Rashaan Evans can also rush off the edge as well. So this just gives them another athlete. I think part of the issue with Tennessee was not just pass rush, but also just speed and athleticism in general. So that's going to upgrade the entire defense up front. And it does help the loss of losing Jarrell Casey as well. So yeah, I think this is an excellent move. And it puts the Titans right into the conversation of playoffs for me. Because yesterday when I broke down the AFC South, I said they're a borderline playoff team. They're a borderline wildcard team or division winner to me. But I wasn't quite sure because one of the reasons was pass rush. So now that they have Clowney, that's going to help them a lot. So Jadeveon Clowney to the Titans. Let me know, Titans fans, how you feel about the move. And if you haven't already, Gronk spike that like button and subscribe to the Bottom Line View if you enjoyed this breakdown of Jadeveon Clowney. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the move. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you love Clowney? Do you hate Clowney? Let me know in the comment section below.